You can't motivate somebody. They have to want it. I got exposed to this stuff in college. In the I was at UMass from '69 to '73, and when they approached me on all of these modalities like meditation, yoga, tai chi, my response was give me a brew and get the f out of my face. I don't have time for that lame stuff. That's that woo woo stuff. I don't want to deal with that. So uh, I wasn't into it. And it wasn't until my butt was on fire where I had chronic pain and I had to just figure out how to manage it. And so there's a sense of urgency. So I would say what got me here was what I call the AOF method of motivation, ass on fire. And now I don't have to have my butt on fire. I can get a little heat on one cheek, I'll change. But even more than that, I'm pursuing excellence and wisdom with grace and ease. So I'm not in survival mode where I'm trying to get out of survival mode. I'm in growth mode, and I'm seeking excellence. Okay, I have wellness, but there's way more wellness that I can get. So and then when you realize that this is a wonderful way to live, then the joy that you cultivate, like I said, when you grow in confidence, but you grow in joy, you grow in happiness, then that will be the motivation. But initially, you have to talk to, it's important to meet people where they are, but to ask them what's going on. So for me, especially working with the dudes, when I'm just thinking about working at Boston College, and I'll be talking and say, "What's up, dude? What's going on?" He said, "I'm chilling." I said, "Chilling ain't gonna make it." Chilling ain't gonna make it. You keep telling me you want to be like Mike, but you chilling, you ain't willing. You ain't willing. You gotta be willing. So what do you want? So if you tell me you want to win a championship, then you got to be a champion. You got to shift from doing to being, and then you got to be interested. But if I can share my experience and strength and hope with them, or talk about, well, here's how so-and-so got over it, because I would tell you, I didn't think it was possible for me to get off of drugs and alcohol to a friend that I used to get high with showed up at my house sober, said, "Let's go to AA meeting." But it was the right time because my ass was on fire when he came by. I just was sick and tired of being sick and tired. It just nothing was working. I couldn't stop, and I couldn't stop, and I couldn't keep going. So that's what I call, everybody has their spiritual bottom. I call it the elevator strategy. Is like, okay, so you're on the penthouse, but now you're on the 10th floor. And last week you were on the 12th floor. So you ain't got to go all the way down to the basement. All you have to do is understand you're going in the direction you don't want to go. And you can just get off at any floor. But when you get off, you have to really commit to it, but you got to take personal responsibility, and you have to get to a place where you understand that the quality of your life is your responsibility, and you have Buddha nature. So I try to create a vision of possibility for them. They want to do it, but the reality is some people are not ready, and so we got to allow them to not be ready. And I remember when I used to go to AA meetings, sometimes you might have a friend or somebody. You encourage them to get as drunk, as high as they can, because at some point they're going to realize it ain't going to work. Because the more you tell them not to drink, they're going to drink. You're going to tell them not. So so we have to fill out, is what Coach Tex Winter called the readiness principle. Some people are not ready. They'll tell you that they're ready, but they're not. And so you focus on the ones that are ready, or create a space. It's like, so maybe to answer your question, I'll answer it this way. How many of you folks know of Johnny Appleseed, the legend of Johnny Appleseed? There was this guy who walked around and he just threw apple seeds all over the place, and wherever they took root, they took root. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing. I plant seeds, and if they get the nourishment, the sun, and the moisture, they'll grow. My job is not to kind of wait or to dig up to see if something's happening. I'm just planting the seeds, and if they take root, they take root. So it's like I set the table, invite you to sit down. If you sit down, you do. If you don't, you don't. But you just never know. So that is where we have to start evaluating and I get this a lot in my course, and because I get a lot of folks like yourself who are the teachers or they're sports psychologists or they're teachers, um, or they're just working with their kids, and it comes up like, well, I think they would be, I think they need mindfulness, or I think they need to do this, or I want them to do that. And I say, good luck with that, because now you're already telling them that there's something wrong with them and you can fix them. And so good intentions, as they say, it's not enough. You got to have the wisdom, you got to have the understanding of what you're doing and what impact it's having. And so to say, well, I think you need this, it's like you saying, well, something wrong with you, I'm going to fix you. Instead of really understanding that nobody's broke, they're just lost. They got ignorance, or they're being driven by greed or hatred. And so the idea is to help them get back to themselves. And the best way to do that is to be the message and to talk about things. And so you have no idea the impact you will have on people just by your being, and you're just putting it out there. Well, like somebody, they planted seeds. They say, okay, well, this could be helpful. So obviously they planted seeds even when I was in college, and when I was ready, I was ready. And so when I deal with the young men, like the one I said, chilling ain't gonna get it. It's more like, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're gonna get what you're getting. So the status quo got to go.